I know a lot of people have been waiting for. It's going to be Vile Origin going up against Astral Eclipse. And this is going to be, I think, an incredible matchup, to say the least. But I'm here with the man, the big Pop P. How you doing, brother?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing great, Giraffe. It's great to be with you, brother. As he said, we got an exciting matchup here first. Let's see who we're going to be hopping on board with first here, as I don't know about you, but I'm quite excited here to hop right in.
Yeah, it's gonna be an incredible matchup, and I know one name that that's gonna be on everybody's mind, and you probably see it on the stream right now. It's gonna be Chad Thundercock. One of the most interesting names, to say the least. But I'm curious what this guy can get done.
Yeah, and you know, right off the bat, it looks like the teams are scrapping around here as well. And I am currently realizing I am in spectator mode right now. Seems like a premature battle, but we are still here. We're sticking through here, as it looks like the boys are frying early here on this red card hardpoint.
Yeah, it looks like they absolutely are, and the kill feed's starting to light up for the side of Vile Origin. And when you kind of take a look at these squads, it's going to be an interesting one. You have Bops, Only Hezi, Aura, Air Vanity, Winamaki, Signs, and Escape. That's going to be my favorite name to say all night besides the cock, as they are scrapping here towards that P1. But you got to be worried about these P2s here, Papa.
Absolutely. And when you look at the rotations here, you see they are coming in. There is some presence on the stage to the opposite side here. As spawns come in, it doesn't look like they pick them up here. And it's going to be crucial here as we get into this P2. You're going to want to get control of this point. And as we get closer to the 25 second or so march, we're going to want to see spawns get flipped out to play towards that P3. And they're doing a wonderful job already holding this time.
Yeah, and you can see Bops, he's just kind of watching over his teammates sitting in that, honestly, his own broadcaster booth right out there in the middle of the map, but trying to watch over his teammate, as unfortunately it will be Chad going down. Signs dropping a big two-piece here, and he's going to find his way on into the point. And what you like to see is the chemistry, the teamwork of these new squads. I know Vile Origin, they are excited to be able to showcase this roster, and so far they're looking pretty good.
I'm right there with you, and when you get new teams in, it's really exciting to watch as Thundercock, the self-proclaimed man himself, is going to get that rotation and support on this P3. They're looking good. They're just waiting any second now, as Hezi's going to find a good kill off this hold here. And so far, so good for the boys right now, as they're holding down this time. Real nice.
Yeah, and the one guy that I do want to point out on the side of Astral is Air Vanity. This guy continues to find kills time and time again. Always an aggressive AR type player, and you're looking for him to kind of step it up and be that leader for the squad of Eclipse. But Escape, a guy that I'm not familiar with, but a name that I'm absolutely going to love, and potentially my favorite one in the entire ZGL, as he's currently trying to find a few more kills. And unfortunately for him, it's still going to be the time going in the way of Vile Origin.
Yep, and Vile Origin scrapping up that time. Slowly but surely, they're getting a large amount of lead here, but big kills coming off the rotation. They're trying to play those cutoffs in Ticket, and Escape, that's what I think his name is, finds a massive 2 on the way to the rotation here for, it looks like, Astral Eclipse. They're doing a good job so far at holding this P4. They're looking great right now.
And this is what you need, and this is an interesting hill, right? In the sense of, what kind of setup do you want? You really have to allow your ARs to do most of the dirty work. You usually have a player sitting under stage, and then maybe somebody kind of watching the backside spawn to not allow anybody to slip through. But if you find that initial kill, you basically have the flank that is going to be dealt with, and you're going to have a lot of good time. It's just being able to maneuver between the cover, throw a good shoulder here and there, and just make sure that you're not getting picked off of your spot.
Absolutely, and you know, they've done a great job holding that time. The rotations are coming through, and let me tell you right now, it's looking like it's slipping away a little bit here for the Astral boys here, as we're looking to see if they can close in some time on this P5. This is going to be absolutely massive, as the spawns are a little chaotic off this initial P5 rotation, and the boys are set up in prime position to hold.
Yeah, and getting some good initial trades. That's going to be Winamake, another fun name to say, coming in and trying to be spell spoiler for the rest of the squad. But Air Vanity, he is there with the AR. Unfortunately, so is Bobs as he just takes him down right on top of the head. The one thing about the P5 as well, teams over the course of this year have continued to get better on how they want to hold the hill and which spawns. It kind of feels like more are favoring towards that restaurant area, towards that B bomb site of that's where you want everybody to be spawning. You want to spawn trap the other team because it's a lot easier to cover the angles, and not to mention you have so many spots that they are going to have to clear out instead, and you're just able to soak up that time. And guess what? That's exactly what the side of Bile is doing.
And I'm on board here with Thundercock. He gets a big kill there, self-proclaimed man himself, by the way. But they're still scrapping away at this P1. They know where they're spawning, coming in through those red doors. Maybe set up a pinch here if you're looking to break in, but again, just complete control. Did I speak too soon there myself? And the kills are going down. They're coming in fast, and I'm trying to see what Thundercock's got going on here.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to take down one onto Signs. Gets a few good shots, but Signs wisely backs down as he gets tagged. Allows the teammates to push in through the front doors, through the steps. And so far, I mean, they're doing a great job trading the kills. The only problem that Astral has been struggling with is not being able to occur any hill time.
And that's the main issue here. It looks like they've been trying to set up, trying to rotate, but it's been the lads on the other side of the fence here. They're getting to the points faster. They're getting the kills on the map. They're playing at their pace and dictating the game right now. And they're looking to open up that lead a little bit more here. And potentially we could see this thing end on the next rotation if the Astral boys don't step it up here, get some time in hill, and fight back here.
Yeah, oh my goodness, and Escape, he unfortunately slides on into his death as Hezi is there. Aura has been kind of the silent reaper of the squad. He's finding some doubles, getting some triples here and there, but look at Thundercock laying it down.
Lightning.
And that's exactly what you need as he will strike, and this is just showing how good this Vile Origin squad is, and I can see why they want to be put on stream.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of teams, they don't like the red card map. Teams try to stay away from it, but it clearly looks like the boys here at Vile Origin, this is their map. They're climbing away with the lead here. I mean, the rotations are coming through as well. They're looking good here to start off, I'll say that.
The one thing about Red Card, I think it got a bad rap at the beginning of the year, personally. Everybody was saying, hey, this is the worst hardpoint map. Why is this thrown on in? And literally, in the course of 1 to 2 months, the pros have said this is probably the most consistent map in hardpoint. Maybe one other, but it really focuses on the rotations. It allows you to punish other teams. When you get pushed out on the map, they are going to spawn out. Granted, this P3 parking lot, the spawns are so fragile. If you push out just an inch too far, they are all going to spawn in the parking lot below. But currently, this is a solid break here coming on in from the side of Astral. Still a long way to go, but it's a matter of just being able to chip it away. And there, it's like 2 popcorns going off as Bobs kills his own team and himself.
And absolutely, we see this scrap time coming through, but guess what? On the other side of Vile Origins, who's there? It's Aura, the man himself, anchoring the spawns down. He is doing it all, it feels like right now. 29 and 13 in the no EKAs, by the way. Absolutely frying. He's going to get taken down eventually by Air Vanity there, but slowly creeping towards victory here as it's starting to look grim on the other side.
Starting to look a little bit grim, but here you start to get a few kills to go your way, and just being able to play your life is so critical in this game. Just with the movement, it feels like you're able to do it a lot easier, but I know some teams, they just want to feel that ego challenge. That's not necessarily the way to go about it, especially on a map like Red Card and Pops. This man is dropping 2 pieces like it is nothing, but so is Winamake. And then, of course, you see in the kill feed is Thundercock following up with 2 of his own. And to that point, it seems like we're seeing a lot of kills going in the favor of those Origin boys. Thundercock, I mean, let's check in with him. Why not? As Bobs absolutely snipes his head off the camera head glitch. I mean, just a few ticks away here.
They know they're in complete control. We're almost there. Let's see if we have any fight left in us, and that's going to be map 1 in the way of Vile Origins here.
Yeah, and just a good squad overall. And don't worry, everybody on the stream. I think they switched us both to spectator mode. I know I didn't switch to it, so I wonder if they did and thought that was the correct way. But we want to be in Concaster mode for the next map so you can see everything that is going down, and the reason why is so those teams can get proper VODs and say, hey, this is where we had our mistakes. But don't worry, like I said, we'll be going on in to the map 2 here shortly, and it's gonna be that vault search and destroy pop up from, you know, being a player and then now coming on into the caster scene. What has kind of been the difference that you've seen as a player as opposed to a caster?
Yeah, and you know, it's lost me. My colleagues, aka my teammates who I now coach, call me washed. I call myself reformed. I'm getting into the casting now, but some things I picked up on that vault search and destroy is teams really like to hit that B site fast. I'm more curious to see if Astral or Vile, which team's gotten more reps in the search and destroy, which team knows that nade spots, because you can cut off that vault bomb site pretty easily if you play it right. I'm looking forward to see how the pacing is between these two teams, because Astral, they're going to need a bounce back here in a big way.
Yeah, being 100-point club actually right at that number, it doesn't feel good coming right out of the gates. But like you said, that B bomb site, everybody just wants to hit it immediately. And if you're that defending squad, remember, they will not have any trophies to deny your tacticals. So do not let them get that bomb plant down for free and potentially throw in a few nades. I think Semtexes early on aren't necessarily the way, because it's going to be really tough to get that close and just find that angle and potentially take that guy off the bomb. When you have the frag, you have a little bit better of an arc. You allow that roll to come through and potentially do a little bit more damage. Deciding, do you want to push on in from the pool side or from the middle of the map? It's really kind of just feeling out the other squad for the first 2 or 3 rounds. But what makes that team go from good to great is essentially those mid-round adjustments. We see it time and time again when it comes to search and destroy. So I'm curious which team is going to be able to make those adjustments middle of the map.
Absolutely, and you know what? As I got to pay tribute to my man Mbos here. I want to see some bozes on the map, Giraffe. I want to see some nades. I want to see what the teams are cooking up, what they've been crafting in the lab. I know these two teams have been working hard, getting ready for Season 1, so I'm with you. I'm excited for this map, too, as it looks like we're currently underneath the map. If anyone was ever curious to see what red card looks like, it's got some houses under the map. But we're going to get that sorted out here, folks, and we're going to hop right back into a Vault Search and Destroy map number 2. So,
I wasn't sure if you're cutting to a break. It kind of sounded like you were. I wasn't 100% positive.
That's on me. Rookie mistake, guys. So we're going to cut away to a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to have map number 2 Vault, and we're going to get the map all sorted. So we'll be right back here, folks. Stay tuned and don't go too far. All right, folks, and we are back and ready to go. Map number 2, Vault. Search and destroy. We're gonna have an interesting one on our hands here, Drav.
Yeah, this is probably the best overall map I think in the entire game. Everybody can agree. It feels like it's more of the staple map of the entire game itself. It's good on control. It's good on hardpoint. It's pretty decent on search and destroy. But it is a fast and furious type map, and a lot of the times you will see maybe 1 or 2 rounds where somebody tries to get that cheeky B bomb plant over towards the outside. Everybody is just going to be an immediate bang out towards A, as it's going to be Astral. Yeah, they are just going to send 2 people right to that bomb site. But look at the middle of the map coverage from Vile. Not something that you see too often, and maybe they were listening in as they tried to get in, throw their tacticals, but it is their Vanity taking down Bops first, but Cock with the nade to clap back.
You gotta love the old cock nade. It's a classic. You gotta be careful for it sneaking here, as it looks like the Vile Origin team is trying to get in between enemy lines, but Winamaki's gonna pick it up. He's keen to it, and we're gonna get a bomb planted down here, but Giraffe, it looks like there's just one man in sight. They gotta group up, play together here, as it looks like it's actually a 2v1 here. So curious to see what the cock himself is gonna sort out here to take back this A site.
Yeah, and he's trying to swing it all about, and he's making sure he's checking all the correct angles, but both players are a little bit split right now, so he does have time to potentially find this individual 1v1, and he's going to slide on in, and he actually gets a kill right to him. And now number 4, yep, Winamake, he's just going to play for time, and ooh, I think Chad did end up seeing him, but wisely Winamake knew he was sitting in the corner and gets a freebie. I love that play from Winamake, as it will secure Astral that first round.
And I'll tell you what, Drab, that's a vet play right there. That's a man who knows he's got time on his side. Check the stopwatch. He's got to be on bomb. And Thundercock's going to get caught out swinging there with his pants down. Unfortunately, round goes down. I'm excited here now. Switching sides on to the Vile Origin boys. I know we talked about some of those grenade spots pre-game. Do we think we see anything here?
I've seen a lot of pre-nades kind of come up, but I don't think I've really seen too many connect. If anything, it might be through the middle, and we've seen it maybe once. I just don't see a lot of nades getting opening kills. Maybe backing down a few players, but Vanity, he just flies on in and takes the player off of bomb. It will be Chad there to follow up, but it allows the side of Astral to be able to take over that bomb site themselves, and so Vile really trying to figure out what they want to do, and Chad, he will find another one on the backside, and then he's going to regroup with his teammates. Does he check the correct corner, though, as picks up the bomb, and no, he guesses wrong.
And Vanny's just creeping in there. The trade's coming through. Don't do it to him. And he does it to him. 3 in a row, tic-tac-toe. My lord. Show some mercy. That man has a family, Vanity. Wow.
This is what I'm talking about. This guy, he just continues to find kill feeds after kill feeds. This is the reason why I highlight him for the Astral roster, because you never know when he is just going to have these type of pop-off moments, and right there, finding 3, getting the ace in the round as well, a great way to start off the vault.
You can't ask for a better bounce back here if you're the Astral Eclipse boys. I mean, 2 massive rounds there. It looks like they're actually going to be switching it up here, going for the B site, but they're all over it as Aura's going to pick one off from that top art window. And now the Astral boys looks like they're scrambling around a bit as the pinch comes through.
And the thing I don't like right now that Vile is doing, they're really playing individual. They need to start having maybe a 2-man hit, because that's where you're going to find a lot of the successes here on Vault, is when you're too spread out, people are able to get kills way too easily, not to mention on that A bomb site is where you're going to have to find decent retakes. But look at Aura, he took a deep route, but he's not ready. He didn't happen to see signs hiding behind that palm, and it's a 1v1.
And Iceman gets paid, as I believe that was Bops there is going to take it down. That's going to be one on the board for the Vile Origin, fellas. That's a big one right there for them. I mean, looked like Astral there kind of bottled up outside the site. They were looking for info. Might have been nervous that somebody was going to be on a pinch or a flank there, and wasn't there. Picks go down. Big round win for the boys over at Vile.
And it really just came down to Aura staying true and making sure they didn't just force stack the other bomb site towards that A. He was watching over the B bomb plan, and guess what? He got that first blood, immediately backed up, and like you said, it kind of made the side of Astral start to scramble, start to kind of panic, and that's what you cannot have happen in Search and Destroy. You gotta have a cool head, as Vanity once again will find the blood, does immediately get traded, but so does Signs. He's been sticking over at the spot that Aura was.
And, you know, you got to start to think. If I've seen Signs go up in this window a few times now, I wonder if he's paying rent. That's neither here nor there. I wonder what the Vile Origin boys are going to do. Bomb is down in not the best spot. They know Signs has that R control. He's going to go out for the pick there. Hezi going for the headshots there. Not going to connect, but they got to do something as time's dwindling and Bomb is down in a not so good spot here, Giraffe.
Essentially, what you have to do is just get that bomb and get out, and that's what they're trying to do. Aura is so worried about the flank, he's kind of tweaking left or right. The angle is switched up by Signs, and that should spell doom. I don't think Hezi's going to be able to make anything happen. Oh, he does have to find one, but yep, the trade is there. Eclipse. So far, they've been looking a lot better, at least on their setups when it comes to the Vault.
You could tell those boys been running some search and destroy scrims quite a lot there. They just seem more together. It seems like they're playing as a unit. They're calm under pressure here. I mean, they're extending that lead a little bit. It still feels like a close map, but seems like they're in the right spot at the right time.
And it's all about having that timing in Search and Destroy. There are some intangibles that you just can't teach players, and you just have to get a feel for map and know the timings of other teams. And just on average, when you're playing against, I think, high-end amateurs against high-end amateurs, it does make a difference because every single buddy or every single player should have a good feel of what the map presence is. When it comes to these amateurs, if you have that and the other team doesn't, it is going to be leaps and bounds difference in how your team plays.
That's absolutely correct here, and we're hopping in now as they are just running it down. Vile, I mean, they're changing up the pace here. It seems like they were trying to go push through that P1 site and try to get some picks, which they did a great job at. And it looks like Bops actually knows that Bomb is down here, and it's going to be quite the hill to climb as Vile's going to come back here with another round win of their own.
And guess what they did? They stacked up through the middle of the map. They had 3 players. They were at least going to get the trade. They got all the numbers, and they're relying on their submachine guns to really put the pressure and set that pace, not allow the other team to take that map presence away. And when you do that, it is going to be that much more difficult because you basically cut off the middle of the map, you deny transitions, and it forces the other team to either go all the way around them or go through them.
Absolutely, and the one thing I liked about that round from Vile was the pacing. It seems like they're got a little umph on them now here, if you will, as they're going right through for this A site. It looks like it's all clear. Nobody's home. Bomb's going down. Picture perfect start here for Vile, but Winamaki on that flank now is going to find Aura, get the trade in there, and let the chaos begin here as we try to see how Astral is going to retake this A site, which is very tricky to do.
And it is crawling with Vile Origin players, and it will be Signs to take down Chad. And they're really just playing back-to-back here and praying that somebody makes a mistake. And, oh, not a great name from Escape, but Signs is still following up. Signs gets it done. The man pops 3, gets the defuse, and nice retake for Astral.
Go ahead, Signs. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you get the bomb down. You want to stay close quarters, but just unfortunate there. Signs is going to catch the timing and walk through the back of that site there, and he's licking his chops, racking up the kills, walking into the vault, robbing their money, taking it from the bank, and taking a round win down there.
Yeah, looking like Mel Gibson in the movie as he's taking down the aliens that are swarming inside his own vault, or aka the house. But you come into the swing round, Vile. It just feels like they're a little bit tense on this map. They're relying on Chad to potentially find an opening as that submachine gun. Even though Aura has done a phenomenal job of finding some of these initial picks, and you end up losing that round, wasn't able to stay alive towards the pool, and oh, Signs does happen to see Bops, and yeah, that is going to be the freest of kills for him. But Aura trying to follow it up, tries to throw a few nades, but again, it's just a quick bomb plant towards A, and Vile, they're just a tad bit spread out.
And that's exactly right. I mean, it looks like they're playing 4 quarters on the map right now. They looks like Astral as well has every spot covered, even Cat, which is going to catch a player off guard there, but trades are coming back in, and we're starting to balance it out here. 20 seconds or so on the clock left, and they got to move on that horse.
And now Vanity, the one player you want in a 1v2 situation, the rest of his teammates are falling, and the stun doesn't connect, but they are going to find him, and he's trying to run away. Somebody's got to hop the bomb here.
And did it come through?
And
I think he got it with a second left.
I think he did. Yeah, he 100% did. Aura had to win that gunfight as well. 0.8. I think that was a weird move by Air Vanity. I think he could have maybe just climbed up top and, maybe just played it for a half a second, tried to surprise him. But once they got that information he was running across, they absolutely knew where he had to chow from with so little time left.
Absolutely, and it was just great teamwork there too, and it seemed like a lot of trust there as well in those situations where time is dwindling, someone's got to hop the bomb, it works out in a split second, could have gone the other way.
Let me ask you this here, Papa, is what do you feel as you're being a submachine gun, what is kind of the most important thing on the map of Vault itself to be able to really show your presence in certain areas?
The important thing on Vault is you want to be fast, especially depending on the site you're hitting. Like right now we have Hezi just making his way into top art, trying to get a pinch set up, but unfortunately they're not going to give him anything. You want to play fast. You want to hit those sites fast. You want to hit Vault fast, get control, and force those gunfights inside the site. On the flip side, you want to make sure you're getting those pinches in teamwork with your team to single some players out, but it looks like Winamaki's going to find a free one on bomb, and I'm not seeing a lot of submachine gun presence right now for the boys here. Going to be another tricky situation for Hezi.
It was a little difficult because I believe it was Vanity who ended up going all the way through his own bomb site, through the Vault hallway, and ended up finding the player on a bomb. And once that happens, like it is over. It's difficult to be able to get that bomb plant back down in that same position. Now you have Hezi versus Vanity in a 1v1, and Hezi's trying to play this, and does he know Vanity is there? I don't think he does.
He didn't see him.
Just literally played.
He's running away. He's not gonna find him. He finds him, but it's too late. Is it? No. And he doesn't get the kill there. Wow, he was right there sniffing his toes, and he just big 1v1 gunfight right there out of Vanity. This man is just ice cold right now.
I thought Hezi had that kill, especially watching that kill cam. Hezi like just jumped up the stairs. Like that was so fast. I would not have been able to track him as much as Vanity did. Vanity also found the player off a bomb, so immediately you were in a 2v4 situation. You take down the player who's planning on B, you play your life, you play a little bit separate and for your individual gunfights. Guess what? Him and Wanamake clutch up, and
there it is.
I was saying you don't see it very often, but you called it out there, Papa.
Shout out to Bose, man. He would be proud if he was watching, which I hope he is. And as I'm speaking, I mean, a lot's going down here. We got Skepsi getting a big 2-piece in there. Looks like we got another one-on-one on our hands. Bomb potentially going down B. Looks like trying to clear out some angles here is a Skipsy, but we got a big round here, Giraffe.
Yeah, he's clearing out top goal, but I think when you're in this type of situation, you just want to get the bomb down, and I'm not a fan of him just kind of waiting for this. And I like what Aura's doing, just playing the 50-50 and waiting for him to make the first move.
You hit the nail on the head, and Aura, he's defending. He knows he has to make the play, confident that he can retake the sites, just waiting for some information. But on the other side of Skipsy, 27 seconds left in the round. Something's got to move. He's got to get the bomb down, and each second he lets pass down is more information for Aura to try to snuff him out here.
Yeah, and right now, he just threw a stun over towards A, and now it forces Escape to be able to get this bomb plant down, and finally, it will come through. And I think if Aura, if you throw that stun and there's nobody there, I think you start sprinting towards that B bomb site. Now you're going to be in this 1v1 situation, and he's taking a lot of time here. He's really trying to make sure nobody's in top gold. but I like this position from Escape sitting behind the palm. It's a little bit of an off angle here.
Absolutely, and he's hiding in the bushes. This is not Vietnam, but it's working out as Aura doesn't know what he's hopping the bomb. And as Skipsy sees him, and he's going to take him down there. A big round win there for the boys as they're going to take it away. 6-3 is the round count, and we got it tied up 1-1. I think we got a series on our hand here, Trav.
It felt like they just knew how they wanted to play that map a tad bit better. I know you're calling him Skepsis, and that's probably how you say his name, but I like saying Escape. It's a lot more fun, and I think he's going to appreciate it at the end of the day. I do apologize if you didn't like it. Just send me a DM. We'll get it sorted out from there. But you look at Air Vanity, he drops, 1,000 damage signs. Of course, he came in with a massive triple on that retake. It made a difference. It allowed them to be able to get that defuse with moments to spare. But you can tell the way the side Vile was playing was just a tad bit too reserved. And when they did get aggressive, they were getting to the bomb site, but they were just leaving lanes open to allow their player to get taken off on the plant.
Absolutely correct. And it seemed like they were trying to play aggressive, but they did have some players separated, like you mentioned earlier. We were watching some of these rounds early on. It just seemed like they had half the team pushing up the map, playing aggressive, and a few players playing back. It seemed like they weren't all on the same page there. In the end, it ends up going to Astral, tying everything up 1-1 here.
It's looking good for Astral, but how good is their respawn? Are they going to be able to bounce back? Because it felt like the pressure was really being felt on that red card. In particular, it was going to be Chad. He was consistently finding doubles, finding triples, and then he was really just opening up space for his teammates to just confidently hold angles. They're like, hey, if he's going to be winning these opening duels and finding those two pieces, it makes the jobs for the rest of his teammates so much easier. He's like, yeah, you know what? Soak up the hill. You don't have to do anything. You can just play around me. He can relay as much information as he wants and feel confident that he's giving the correct callouts. I know that we wanted to do listen-ins. Unfortunately, we might not be able to do it tonight. We'll definitely get some later on, but I wish I could have heard the comms because I know this team in the side of Vile was really excited to show off their teamwork, especially when it came to the hard points. They looked phenomenal in Search and Destroy. I think with the new team, that is always going to kind of be the question
what
mark,
team is
right?
defense
You're not
first?
going to have a lot of reps on certain maps or just overall
That is
in that
a
mode.
great question.
So that's something that they might have to work on come the rest of this season.
Absolutely. And, one thing I'm excited for, it's going to be a vault control. As we know, as we've seen in the CDL, a lot of amateur leagues here as well, teams do not like to play protocol control. It's a hard map to play. You get 4 down, you get a few kills down, you get stuck in that blender. Could see the same thing here on Vault. It does seem to be the preferred map here, which is going to be map 3 here on control. Just like you said, I'm curious to see what the slang is going to be like in a respawn. Seemed like Astral had it on lock on the Surge. Seemed like they were calm, composed, and ready for whatever's being thrown at them. But Vault Control, it's especially difficult on offense. If you do not get those first initial kills, you go 3 down, 4 down, it's going to be an uphill battle for them to get back into position to win an offensive round for both teams.
It absolutely is. And Vault is one of those maps where well, in control in particular, a lot of the times when you are playing Search and Destroy, you try to find the kills. You're not necessarily trying to push the pace unless if you are getting that bomb down, especially around, some enclosed sites. But in a map or in a mode like Control, you find those kills and you want to be able to strike. You either send somebody forward or you just stack the hill, get that point secured. And like you said, when you go 3 or 4 down, it makes it so much more difficult for that defensive team to be able to recover, especially if you have somebody lurking in top gold, top art. They're just able to dance around up there. They're able to frolic around the rest of the map and allow their teammates to get those easy captures.
Absolutely correct. And I mean, it seems like right now this is a crucial map for both teams here. I mean, we're getting the double vault cheese here right now, but I expect it to be a bang out. Control's a very different game mode than Hardpoint. It sort of turns into that team deathmatch when there's that even keel pacing where teams are looking for map control. I'm curious to see how Air Vanity's going to bounce back with his guys after that last respawn.
I have a feeling that they are a tad bit more confident after that map. It felt like they were kind of working more together and they were effectively trading. And not to mention, one player that did exceptionally well was Signs. The guy was consistently finding kills, even if he wasn't. He was putting down damage, and it just allows the rest of your teammates to push up, be aggressive, and just know that their AR can follow up if you even drop a lot of the first bloods. And honestly, looking at it totally, Vile Origin in those 9 rounds had 5 of the first bloods, and only being able to secure 3 of them is showing that your conversion rate and having that man advantage didn't necessarily get the job done. So you're going to be looking at that from the side of Vile. But again, like you said, it's going to be an interesting map to see if you can gain your footing back in the respawn, be in the swing mode. I know a lot of teams, they veto protocol, they veto Hacienda because simply they're just not really that good of maps to play. And I truly wish there was another mode that we can throw in instead of control, because we've had a taste of it for what, 4 or 5 years
Yep.
now. We had 1 year of domination, and everybody's like, this is the most boring mode. Sadly, in a 4v4, it is. If it was a 5v5 or 6v6, completely different story. But 4v4, it just feels a little bit bland.
Absolutely, and I agree. It looks like the boys are ready to go. Gamer grip slapped on the sticks, and they're ready to hop into this Volt control. We're here. We're ready. We're loaded in here now, and we're trying to see which team is going to start off on offense here. It might have been that Team 2 boys there. But nevertheless, we're geared up and ready to go.
Yeah, it's just being able to string one kill after another, be able to grab a point, just secure it, and feel confident in where you're pushing. With new squads, that's kind of the only issue you may have in those comms is potentially who is going to be that decisive voice, or are you relying on 1 or 2 leaders? Who's going to be that IGL in the comms to really make sure everybody's on the same page? And so far, it does feel like it is Chad at the moment, but I have a feeling that Hezi, he's going to be the one who's just doing the dirty work that nobody else wants to do, and just making sure the callouts are correct.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching here from home, the Codcaster cheese did happen. It looks like the teams are mixed up here, so it's going to be flipped here. We're going to have Hezi and the boys are going to be with Vile, and Air Vanity and the boys are going to be with the Astral team. So we'll keep that in mind here as we'll try to get some images on there to make sure we know who's who. But anyways, as we said, that A control point is gone, and it's gone fast, Giraffe.
Yeah, it was egregiously fast, in my opinion. You just waltzed on in, found 4 kills, you waltzed on out, and immediately you already have a little bit of map control. Just look at where number 3 has positioned himself. That's Aura, gonna get himself in top goal, finds a trade, and Escape, he's gonna be the lone person over here, just trying to find any sort of pick. Number 4, Hezi, it's his job just to stay alive and allow Bobs to come through, clean up the kill, but nobody's hopping on. And look at number 2, unfortunately, I think Chad might have lagged
Looks
out of
like
the map.
they lagged out of the map.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate because they will end up, having a little bit of a host swap or whatever the case may be, a reset. Don't worry, we'll get ourselves right back to this game here shortly.
All right, folks, and as Giraffe said, we'll be right back here in the action when we get all this sorted out. Appreciate you all sticking tuned. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, and we're back. We got the players back in the lobby. Seems like we have everything all sorted out here and ready to go. We have the teams set up. Knock on wood, Codcaster doesn't glitch out again, but Draft, we're back. We're back.
I'm excited for this just to kind of see how the break off is going to be, because the way that Vile started, it was an incredible. I mean, they went 4 down, didn't lose a player. They had all the map control in the world, and then unfortunately, Chad he ended up disconnecting, or potentially there was something about maybe somebody calling in a restricted item. I'm
The
not
round will
100%
be
positive on
replayed
that.
if the GA was
Either
broken
way,
before
you're
the
looking
control
to
of the
kind of have
first
that
segment,
exact
or
same
offense.
success,
Live
and it
the
does
captain's
look like they
integrity.
actually swapped sides. So one team's going to be on the defense, one team's going to be on the attack, and it's going to it looks like it's going to be Vile who's on the defense starting. We'll kind of have to wait and see if that's actually true, because they did swap the sides, but it was a good opening start. So let's see if they can recreate that success.
Absolutely. And, very curious to see how the mental is, because as a player, when some of these pauses happen, there's an, issue with some of the rules, etc. Usually tends to torch some time out. You got to remember to regain and lock in and try to not let it knock you off balance, if you will. And I'm curious to see if the reset cheese is in play here or not.
I typically, with how much it started, I mean, you could start off slow, whatever the case may be, but already you can tell how confident the side of Vile feel in their respawns. They always want to be flying forward at you, and so maybe that's kind of a cue for the ARs from Astral to be able to kind of play a little bit slower, allow them to fall in your lap, and really not give anything to them, and just have your ARs, have the LOS, and just make sure as soon as that player pops into it, you're dropping heads, you're dropping bodies, and just allows your submachine guns to maybe potentially take a break, not for very long, allow them to get right back into the action, but potentially take that map control.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the important thing on this map, right? You want to make sure you're holding those lanes on the defense and offensive side. The catwalk area is going to be a big area to keep control of, especially if you're on offense. You don't want to have to be worrying about taking a look at the mid doors on the right there. You don't want to have to worry about the pinch, cat, all these things at once. You got to make sure it's coordinated and that cat's covered, pinches are covered, and you go out there and you let your subs run around and loose a little bit if you're on the defensive end.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting reset, to say the least. But you have to be able to consolidate where you want to go. Are you gonna have the exact same? Are you gonna be able to go right, go left? In being able to facilitate that squad again, with both of these two teams kind of necessarily having new rosters, it's about that chemistry and really gelling and molding together as one cohesive unit, and just allow yourself to kind of pluck away a kill here and there and take over some of those points. Vault is, again, a map that we love to see in control. We just wish there was another one that we would be able to commentate over, because nobody, like you said, wants to play Protocol, and I know as hell nobody wants to play Hacienda.
It's like the Black Plague and nobody wants to touch it. The map is just not good for control like some of these maps are. It looks like Vault is what we're stuck with for now. Who knows? Maybe a new map comes in the new season. Maps get added. Who knows? We're seeing Vault. This is probably going to be the common theme, as Giraffe said, throughout the season across these leagues, the CDL. Everyone is skipping right past that protocol control. And, for the most part, Vault is a decent map, but, like Control, it's always going to be scrappy. There's going to be those spawn traps being set up. I'm curious to see, and it's something I picked up on the last series as well, with the Frost Alliance boys going up against ZGL admins. Frost did a great job on offense, trapping the ZGL admin in their own spawn on offense. They pushed up that cat side, held the Jeep, put them in the absolute blender. So I'm curious to see if that knowledge is on either sides, if the kills go their way, if they could put one of them in a spawn trap and make life a little bit more difficult for them.
Yeah, I think some of these amateur teams do not know how to get out of the spawn traps. It's just as simple as that. Again, it's one of those things that's going to be frustrating if the team's able to outslay you and you just don't have that confidence. It's gonna be so annoying, and basically you just have a deference. You just have to submit that round. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but realizing where those mistakes are coming from and saying, "Hey, let's just not all push out one by one," because you see that a lot. You see once these teams get frustrated, they tend to go out in staggered pushes and not as a team, and that's really gonna push you back. And speaking of being pushed back, I did get a notification that they are still trying to resolve, an issue that was maybe in game. So everybody, again, I do apologize. We are going to cut it to a short break, but don't worry, we'll be back in this Vault Control Map 3 in no time.
All right, folks, and it looks like we are finally back. Everything has been sorted out for the most part here. We're going to hop right back on into the game here. Still trying to load everything up here, and it looks like we're good to go. Match starting off here after, and maybe not, I take my words back. The host has entered the game once again. We're going to have to wait and see what is going on here, but it looks like we may have started the game a little bit prematurely here. So we're going to see what's going on. We're going to stay right here for an update from the teams. And we're going to see what's going on because we want to get back into this game as much as I'm sure all of you want to hop back in here as well. So we're going to see what's going on here. As I'm getting word now that it looks like one of the teams were not quite ready just yet. So we are going to cut it to another brief moment here. We're going to get all the players back into the lobby and make sure we're good to go. We do apologize again for all of you watching for the delay. We'll be right back in the action in no time. All right, everybody, we are finally back. We're in the game. We have the right teams. Everybody's on board. We're good to go, folks. As we start on off with Ezzy getting two, sharing a place with Chad there. As Bobs comes in, that's going to be a fast 3 down for them, and they're going to hop right on into that point and maybe get some lucky picks here right off the one.
Yeah, I mean, talk about restart cheese. There wasn't really any. The only thing is you had one more player in Signs who was kind of lingering. He's the guy who's potentially making plays and just allowing his teammates to come on in and assist, but that's a great job coming on in from the side of Astral. I mean, they halted the push, but still kind of feels like you have a little bit of pressure over towards A, and everybody on the side of Vile starting to swarm.
And Bob's a little unfortunate there. We're on board with him. And did I just see that correctly? Did Hezzy shoot his body a little bit after that? I don't want to throw anything out there, but looks like he gave him some love taps after he killed him there. Some animosity potentially brewing there. Don't want to start any drama storylines here, but looks like this is going to go the distance here. It's starting to heat up. The A controls appeared. Let's see how they approach this B point next.
I mean, I'm not. There wasn't any question. He did shoot that body. He wants to start it, and I mean, maybe it was the fact that they took too long to start up this map 3, whatever the case may be. But has he? Oh yeah, he shot the body. We all know. We all saw it on stream. But don't worry, these guys are still feeling confident about it. They got a minute and a half to work with, as they are looking to play for a tad bit more of spawn kills. They're not necessarily getting too aggressive, but when Hezzy, the rest of his teammates, die, it's just going to be that much more difficult.
And absolutely, and right now, what we see is Hezzy just being a pest in their top P3 building here, or P4 rather, is that I'm losing track. I'm a caster now. I don't play, but he's being a rat in their spawn, trying to get those kills. They take care of him, and now Signs is in prime position here to get 4 picks here.
Yeah, Air Vanity also kind of watching over on the other team's spawn. He sees one, and as he actually gets a beautiful read and finds the player, he does unfortunately go down, but allows the rest of his teammates to gain a little bit of map pressure. When Amaki, he's going to be sliding in and out of the vault doors. But right now, you take that player down up top. There's going to be one more remaining. That's going to be Escape. He does take down the Thunder from down under, as it is going to be a solid hold here over towards that B site.
And this is exactly what you like to see if you're Vile Origins. You're getting kills on the map. You're getting control of that gold building. You're trying to put them in a blender here, and I've seen a lot of white in the kill feed here, which is that Vile Origins team. And it's just coming in non-stop, and one finally comes in, but it's too little too late, as Vile sweeps both points and is going to pull away 1-0 after the first round here.
And it was really about the teamwork. They didn't have to do a whole lot. They only had 1 or 2 guys on the objective. And when you would just have a person who's lingering around that goal and you find that kill, it's going to be so much more difficult. You did have a player from the side of Astral clean him out for a second, but immediately drop. So when you just constantly have 3 players around that point, you have somebody, you know, one person is making sure that nobody's roaming through the middle and maybe trying to catch a cheeky kill through vault double doors, but Vile doing a great job readjusting their strategy. They dealt with that player. I think that really just came down to Hezzy finding that kill onto Air Vanity and knowing there's a player in the back. That was a critical read for them.
Absolutely, and we're hopping right in, guns ablazing into the second round here, as similar theme I was going to say, Bop comes in with a huge 3-piece, bopping around, fine, he gives him 4 and he doesn't get it, Vandy's finally going to take care of him. And it looked like initially they were going to get in, get some kills, and get a fast A, but if kills start going their way, it's going to be tricky, as Hezzy again just lighting him up as he gets him.
And I wonder, this is a serious question here. Do you think Bops plays the Bop It? If so, what do you think his high score would be?
He's got to have a world record. I mean, you can't have a name like Bops and not be at least a regional Twister, whatever, Bop It champ somewhere. I mean, that's a great name. I'm thinking he's up there.
Yeah, no, you could say he could also pull it out of the hat, whatever the case may be, but it's looking pretty good, as so far the defense is holding strong. You had Hezzy deal with one once again in the back, 13 and 6. The kill feed does light up black, but Thunder. Again, this player has just been so annoying. He consistently finds doubles. And when you just have a player who is slaying out and just is in that flow state on the map, there's not much more you can do. And guess what? He bops it and you go, ow, as he gets a triple.
And I'll tell you what, Vile, I can't believe what I'm seeing. They have 3 submachine guns on the map right now. They got Bops, Hezi, and Chad running loose. And that's got to be frustrating for Astral. You're trying to get set up. 4 seconds left to go in the round. Doesn't look like anybody's close. Skipsy, he's going to get taken down. Thought there was a glimmer of hope there, but the submachine guns are absolutely fried here for the Vile boys.
And just putting pressure on the map, it has been the difference maker, and it just constantly feels like the submachine guns are up in your face, and when you are not able to slow them down, your subs are just rendered, you know, not incompetent is not the word I'm looking for. I'm drawing a blank here, but just they just unfortunately are not able to assist the way that you want to, and again, it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your ARs to find these players in, you know, take on 1v2s on a consistent basis, so you just don't want to put them in that type of situation. You need to have a strong defense here, I think, if you're the side of Astral.
And as you said, pressure makes diamonds. Let's see if Astral can bounce back here and find something to work off of. It just, again, feels like Vile is pushing the tempo as a Skipsy finds 2. Let's hop on board with a Skipsy, but it's a little too late for that as trades are coming through fast for Thundercock. He's lightning fast. He's slamming the hammer down, getting kills across the map here, going absolutely crazy. Again, that submachine gun pressure. They're not allowing them to get in consistently. Fill the lane. Trades coming in fast. Hezi lighting it up. Christmas was several weeks ago, and he's lighting it up right now. This is just fast-paced out of line right now. They're running it down.
They are absolutely running it down. And it's been the submachine guns. Hezi and Chad just consistently putting in work. But guess who is there to always follow it up? It feels like Signs is always keeping his head in the game. Winamake finally starting to get a little bit more pressure. Does happen to find a freebie. You can tell they're trying to draw this line around the 50 or the 40-yard mark of the side of Vile. Unfortunately, it does get broken on through. But what that does, it allows your teammates to come off of spawn and at least assist you come in with those trades. And that's what's getting done. Still, there's 35 seconds left on the clock, and Vile hasn't been able to capture the safe site.
And it's gonna be an uphill battle for them as the kills are slowly trickling in. It's kind of a stalemate right here with Vile trying to work out of their spawn a little bit here. And it does look like Danny's trying to get those ammo spawns blocked off, spawning them out towards that P2. He's gonna get a freebie there, trying to work his way back in. A little bit too late. The ticks come in for Vile, and it's not quite over yet.
Yeah, and Vanity, it's his job to basically just stay alive here, and you have to rely on your teammates to find a lot of these kills, and currently they are not, but you give away your position. Still, what is this going to do? It's not going to allow the side of Vile to be able to push up onto that B site confidently, even though you have number 2, you have Chad. Of course, the man is already into the spawns. He's going to be able to kill Signs, and oh, if you were Aura right there, you did not need a challenge. All you needed to do was wait an extra second, and you would have had Chad to be able to find that kill and potentially hop onto the site, but you were still winning in the overall life count. Can they keep it this way for 30 seconds longer?
And we're going to see if that's going to happen as Bob is getting ready to push his goal. Hezi's going to find one. Time starting to dwindle down. Hezi with 2 there. Absolutely going berserk this map. And they're right back onto that B point here. Chad's trying to hold them off. Uncle gonna find a big one. He's lighting up bodies. They're shooting everything that comes their way and making sure they're dead. There's no other way to put it. They're asking if they want to fight back, and they're just... It's getting a little upset. And they're gonna take that B point there finally, and it's gonna be 2-1 series lead out of the Vile boys as they take this one down 3-0.
It was just too easy. It felt like every single gunfight they had, the submachine guns were winning it. Chad, again, just, you get to see here, he just finds 1, finds 2, and then slides up, and oh no, he just made Winamake look silly as he was giving them the absolute skates. You take a look at that stat line, and I can't believe that Aura finished with the lowest damage in the lobby, and they still won 3-0.
And that just goes to show you how fast these rounds were going by, to where you're winning 3-0 and a player on your team 1,400 damage, 10 kills. I mean, these were fast rounds. This was a fast control map. They put the pressure on the Astral boys, and it worked out for them. They were flying across the map, putting that pressure on. So again, we get another respawn. A hard point is coming up here next. And I am curious to see if Astral, maybe it was the map that they weren't as comfortable with on that red card. They get a chance to play a Skyline hardpoint coming up here next. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, Skyline is where the chaos kind of thrives. You've seen a lot of money hills. It's going to be your P2s. It's going to be your P4s. Of course, the initial P1, everybody's kind of dipping their toe into the hot tub, feeling like, oh, is this a little bit too hot? Did they bring the swim trunks, or is somebody just kind of going on in with the underwear? It's really kind of in and out of that hill. And then the P3, who is cooking it up in the kitchen? Who has that filet mignon ready to go, ready to dish up to the other team? Because it's got to be absolutely delicious, got to be scrumptious, it's got to be medium rare. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're a well done type of guy, you can get well done out of this stream, because I don't even want to talk to you.
I'm right there with you. If it's, and I don't even want to have that conversation. So I'm looking to see who's going to be cooking up the steaks, grilling it up. I want to see some action here. I want a map 5. If it does go the distance, folks, we have a Hacienda Search and Destroy, one of the new maps in the rotation. So we're rooting for map 5. So far, it's been a good series for the most part. Vile's been dominant in the respawns. I am curious to see now on a Skyline hardpoint if Astral can make their way back into the series. And as we saw in that Vault search, they seem to be more composed in that game mode. So if it does get to a Hacienda S&D, I'm curious to see which way that'll go.
It's coming down to Air Vanity and just kind of having that confidence. When he gets going, he is unstoppable. He is consistently slicing through the other team like it is Fruit Ninja. But when you kind of saw it in the control, once he slowed down, his team just didn't really have that presence on the map to really dictate the pace that they wanted to play at. And they were really passive. They didn't feel confident in the routes that they were taking. I thought there was a really good delayed hit. I think it came in from Signs and Escape, but you can't be relying on just kind of those off timings all the time, because sometimes you are just going to have to barrel through the front. You're going to have to you're going to have to, hit him with the fist to the throat, whatever the case is. You need to be able to secure a lot of that time. And that was one of the things, right, that we noticed is you were finding the kills. You still weren't able to hop on the hill and get any sort of points your way. So you need to be able to change that around here on the Skyline. Oh, and we might have lost Poppy, so I guess we can continue to talk about it. But
absolutely my fault there, folks. But I'm right on the mark there with the Giraffe. I think this is going to be a great map here as we finally have the players loading in. One thing I want to make sure of for our fans watching at home is that we have the right teams here. So I do think we're getting the Codcaster glitch. Is it Team 1? That looks like it's going to be Astral here. So let's make sure we have that all squared away here.
And it looks like that's going to be the team that's going to start over towards the P2 side. So what you have to do is really control the top walkway. I feel like it's kind of one of those spots on the map that you don't necessarily feel is a critical position. Over towards the P4, it absolutely is, being able to control the rooftop and being able to shoot down through that sky. Well, I don't know what you call it, sky view. But on the other end, when you are going up the stairs and just being able to play off that heady, nobody's able to really transition through that skyway and just go on into the P2 conference room. And I think that's just really being able to say, hey, we have to force them down low, make them take a route around us, and still be able to lock up a little bit of that time.
Absolutely, and I am curious to see who's going to be taking those routes into the bottom basement, getting up behind enemy lines if they pick that up, because that's going to be crucial here as well in that P1 breakoff. Definitely going to be a bang out here. I am curious to see as well, Vile is going to stick true to that. They were running 3 SMGs in that last control for a prolonged period of time, so if they do the same, is it going to work out for them on this map? It is a fast-paced map, so if anything, I could see it working out for them if they do choose to go that route again with the 3 subs.
That is surprising, especially on a map like Vault, where there is a lot of open space that you have to be able to cover. And when you have a Jackal, yeah, it has some good range, but I mean, not as good as the aim. So that's kind of one thing, yeah, we're going to have to take a look at, as once again, it's Chad starting off. He gets 2. Unfortunately, it will be Escape who will shut him down. But Astral, they're going to lock down a little bit of this P1 time. They dip their toe in the hot tub. They're saying, hey, you know, the temperature is nice. And Hezi, the shots are even nicer as he slides back left to right. Stays alive, allows Aura to clean up the 2-piece, and this is a great start here for the side of, oh, excuse me, my team names are flipped, for the side of Vile.
Absolutely, and Vile is doing a great job right now building the map control here. I do want to see the Astral boys, they're trying to fight through to that P2, but this is, again, so tricky. You don't have those spawns as the rotations are coming through. It's tough to break through a full setup here on this P2.
The setup is just being able to realize where is their player who's holding the back spawn. I think once you pick him off, all the dominoes start to fall because you can collapse upon that point incredibly quick. And guess what? It's going to be the side of Vile. They break it down so magnificently. They get all 4 players. But I like this. I like this from the side of Astral. They are sticking together, but unfortunately, they're just not able to get the trades. Everybody is falling. Nobody finds a kill except for Winamake, as he is winning 1. And, oh, almost gets a second. His teammate does clean up, but still, you are not that much closer to breaking on into this hill.
And again, this is a lot of time here for the Vile boys, as we're going to get a little white time here. They're going to hop back into it real quick as we're heading to the story. But it seems like, again, the pressure out of the holds. They're right on cue, and right now, they're looking great here, but Astral does a good job rotating to this P3.
I'm not sure if they're like having a hiatus of not wanting to hop into hill. We'll just kind of have to go and ask them potentially after the game. But now you break on into the kitchen, and it's going to be Airvane, the last person here who can potentially make a difference to start this one off. Not able to find it. Aura's reading the pressure exceptionally well, but 2 players getting shot in the side. Winamake, he's putting so many bullets down range, and finally, he will allow his team to get a tad bit of a foothold. But remember, you got to be able to use your tacticals. They do have trophies to work with. They just haven't laid any down, but it doesn't matter when you aren't winning the gunfights.
Absolutely. And one thing right here as well is the scratch time, depending on how aggressive the Vile boys want to play off the P2. It looks like they have good sides. They're set up for P3 here. I do see a Skipsy is lurking in the tunnels right now, trying to get some presence in the point, and Astral going to sneak through. They don't necessarily have response there, as they do get some big kills out of time, but Hezi just walks right on in, gets quickly treated out. This is going to be a fast-paced hill. Everybody's going to be flying into this bottom bed area, as Chad's going to take care of everything, and that's going to be 4 dead.
4 dead, and you get the bathroom all cleaned up, looking nice and spiffy. As the one thing I've kind of noticed is that Hezi, his playstyle, we've highlighted how good Chad has found some of these miraculous doubles and triples. Hezi has been consistently sticking with him. It feels like his gameplay is similar to Mac from the side of Cloud9. He just somehow has this ability to get the timing and just win these 2 pieces, but it's not much more than that. He finds the 2 pieces, and then he just kind of goes about his business and is just kind of doing the work that nobody else wants to. But guess what? It's shown up in the scoreline. You sit up by roughly 90 points after the first set, and guess what? You were talking about the low route, and it looks like Signs is going to be taking one.
And he is going deep into the trenches here right now. He's going to get through, but quickly stuffed out, and there he goes. He's going to pick him up. Looks like they were keen to that. And they're still having control here. Here, as he's going to absolutely feed Signs across the map on top of that platform, and they are keeping the pressure on. They're forced to come out of bottom bed here, and it's just looking like Vile is the more confident team right now. They're playing faster, getting it at time, and the kills are going in their favor.
It does look like that. Finally, you get a slight moment of reprieve, as it's going to be 2 players dropping on the side of Vile. But Bobs, he is now taking the low round. He just goes up and says peekaboo to Signs, and when you thought you had everything in the palm of your hand, it falls apart. You need one gunfight win from Winamake. Not able to do it, and now you can just put them in a trap if you want. Hezzy's just able to go 1 for 1, but he's giving all the information that they're coming in from the tub, they're coming in from the kitchen, and really it just feels like there has been a lack of communication with this team. You can tell they are so frustrated because everybody's starting to stream in one by one.
Absolutely, and I think when you get to this point of the game where you see you're down by a lot, it honestly all starts with one hill. Let's see if they can finish out this P2, get these 20 seconds. It's going to put them a little bit closer towards that P3 rotation. They can scrap together some more time. They're doing an excellent job right now, actually, of holding this scrap. Looks like Vile is not going to chalk it up just yet as they're rotating through the point. And they're looking good right now. They're starting to come back Astral a little bit. But Vile's here at the new point as well.
And the problem is when you start off so down by a lot of points early on in the game, it allows the other team to just to fight for this scrap consistently because they feel confident in their breaking. Like they are just completely punching through a brick wall, which is your setup. And now Hezzy, he is there, and it goes everybody down. Vanity will fall. One more player still left alive, and oh, Escape, he gets traded out, but Winamake. Oh, I love Escape to Winamake coming in with the 2-piece, and they do end up getting into the kitchen. It just feels like they are fighting for the scraps that are left over from Vile.
Absolutely, and you know, again, the scrap time is huge for them, and Skip was trying to get a massive fight. Aura just couldn't get his head there. He was hiding behind the chairs. Around back there, still isn't. He's gonna find another before then. Finally gets him, but Bobs is there for the fast trade. They are here at this new point, and this could be the game unless Astral makes his way into the hill and makes some plays happen on the map.
Yeah, this is a paramount break. You cannot waste any time, and again, it's going to be one player. That's going to be Signs pulling out the Jackal, staying alive, and oh, he actually plays his life. Finds one, finds the second, but Hezzy, oh my goodness, I think sending in a few extra body shots as well, showing no respect, no love for the boys on Astral as he ends up popping 23 and 18 minute in the hill. This is the absolute factotum of the squad.
And Hezzy is just coming with that fire in the last few maps. Doesn't seem like they were so happy about the pause. Maybe some animosity in between the rounds there. And he's letting it all out on the field right now. He is shooting left and right, center, and even the bodies that are already dead. It is just a Hezzy going crazy right now. As we're going to flip back in to the P1 here. Maybe Astral can make a little something happen here.
And the interesting thing is, it doesn't feel like you're even getting outslayed by that much. Yeah, on the scoreline, it does kind of show, 10 to maybe 15, but it doesn't feel like that. It still has that opportunity of Astral finding kills. It's just they aren't able to get these setups successfully, and you're just allowing these sprees to continue for some of the players on Vile. But Vanity maybe starting to heat things up. It could be a tap in too late, but he's getting some beautiful reads. Almost able to take down one more. It just allows that last bit of time to go your way, but 20 seconds here to fight for. This is a big gunfight, and oh my goodness, what is that movement coming on in from the player of Astral?
Yeah, I missed that one myself, but I could just see on the mini map it looked like a lot of chaos going down on P1, and they walk away. They're alive, just hanging on right now. The contests are coming through. The kills are going over the fire. Maki the Skepsy have something else to say. 4 points to go. Here comes Chad, and it's looking like it's a little bit too late as Vile is gonna take down map number 4.
250, 160 stat line. You do improve. You don't get 100-point clubbed. As it did feel like towards the end of it, they were starting to get into that groove. They were starting to allow their players to each have their successful moments, finding their footing on a slippery slope, but still the slope was a little bit too steep and you end up falling in the hardpoint map 4. But you got to give credit to Astral. Their search and destroy, they knew exactly how they wanted to play it. Their retakes were exceptional. Their post plant holds were incredibly difficult to break for the side of Vile. So you know you can hold your head up held high, knowing that your search game is good. You just got to clean it up here on the respawns.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the series for Vile, 3-1 there. But there was, as you said, definitely some promise in this Astral team. They looked incredible in the search and destroy. They started to tie some things together towards the end of that Skyline HD. It was a little too late to get back into that with such a big lead there from the Vile boys. They're going to take it down 3-1, and that's going to be the series going in the favor of the Vile guys.
Yeah, well, great way to show up and show out on the ZGL stream to open their season up. You can't ask for much more than that. Again, Search and Destroy is going to be one of those modes where then that is something you could look at in the VOD and say, hey, we can see what we did wrong there. Yes, there is hard points, but the opportunity for more error is there in the respawns because of course the map is so quick, it's so fast paced, so you're having to learn on the fly. When Search and Destroy, you can really slow things down and really go into depth of what went wrong on the map. It was a 3-1, a 250 to 100 route in favor of the side of Vile. That was going to be on the red card hardpoint. We head into the Vault Search and Destroy. It was 6-3 in favor of the Astral Eclipse. Even though they didn't dominate the first bloods, they still got the round wins. And then you head on in to the Vault Control, and it was all the side of course, you named it, Vile. It was a 3-0 with the submachine guns being the tiny tears on the map like Simp and Abizi. But then in the map 4, it was a little bit closer than map 1, but still the same result, 250, 160, as of course it was indeed Vile Origin getting the win in a 3-1 fashion. And Papa, what are your thoughts overall in this series, and do you have any closing remarks?
Absolutely, Draft. And, I think Vile, they look like a team to beat right now. That Astral Eclipse team, I do know, is a talented roster. They're going to look to build on things, but ultimately, Vile looks like a team to be on the lookout for. They played at their pace. They set the pace in the lobby, which was very critical for them taking down those 3 respawns. I'm excited to watch how the season plays out for the Vile boys. I think they got some action in store for them next week, but you know what? I think they played great. I'm excited to see what's in store next for them.
Hey, absolutely. And Papa, where can everybody find you on the Twitter sphere or on the X sphere? Now I still calling it Twitter. On Twitch. Where can everybody find you on the socials?
Absolutely. And if everybody's feeling generous, I do apologize for the Twitch name. You can find me at